Hey, Christ Legacy D Group. We're back in Luke chapter 17, and this week we're going through verses 5 through 10. And so it's two segments that are some would say they're not related, some say that they are related, but we're going to go ahead and take them together today. In verses, we're going to start with verses 5 through 6, and it says, "The apostles said to the Lord, 'Increase our faith.'" Increase our faith. Now, that word, the phrase "increase our faith" is very interesting because there's this idea of what, they're wanting to add to the faith that they already have, right? Like they want to, 1 plus 1 equals 2. They want to add to that faith. They want to make it bigger. And so in response to what they say, Jesus says this, and the Lord said, "If you had faith like a grain of mustard seed, you could say to this mulberry tree, 'Be uprooted and planted in the sea,' and it will obey you." Now, I love this because, the apostles are saying, hey, we want to add to our faith. And Jesus is saying, basically, that's not the thinking that he wants them to have, right? Like he wants them to understand that even just the smallest of faith, like the mustard seed, during Jesus's time, the mustard seed was the smallest of seeds that they knew about, which was interesting because that small seed could grow even taller than them in full growth. Like the mustard plant would grow possibly even taller than a human being. And so, but he says, if you had faith like a grain of mustard seed, you could say to this mulberry tree, 'Be uprooted and planted in the sea,' and it would obey you." Now, what's interesting about a mulberry tree is that the mulberry tree, Jesus really knew his he really knew his agriculture. He knew it very well. And so did his disciples. I thought maybe everyone kind of knew this stuff because the mulberry tree's root system was so strong that it was virtually impossible to uproot it and take it somewhere else, right? Like when the thing is grown, the roots are down in the ground so strong. I've got some bushes that are baby bushes. And we're about to dig those things out, but they're so small, and we're gonna put them in pots, and we're gonna sell them. But it's like, okay, not a mulberry tree. You just can't do that. And it says you can do that with a mustard seed of faith. You can uproot this mulberry tree and plant it in the sea. Now that's even more strange because how do you plant a mulberry tree in the sea, right? So you have like these two absurd ideas. One, uprooting the mulberry tree and transplanting it in the sea. Okay, this is just impossible. But Jesus says, you can do the impossible with a mustard seed of faith. So it's not the amount of faith. It's not 1 plus 1 equals 2. It's the quality of your faith, and that's what he's getting at here. So if you look at verses 7 through 10, slightly different focus here. It says, "Will any of you who has a servant plowing or keeping sheep say to him when he has come in the field, 'Come at once and recline at the table'?" Well, obviously, that master is not going to say that. Will he not rather say to him, 'Prepare supper for me and dress properly and serve me while I eat and drink, and afterward you will eat and drink'?" So this is during the old times with Jesus, where slaves and masters were part of life. That's how this was a common thing. And so Jesus is using an everyday example for people to help understand our relationship with God. And so he's saying basically, hey, like the master can say this about the slave and have the slave do this, and the slave when he is out there working the field or watching the sheep, he and he's got to turn and go do something else. Like he's got to come in and prepare the meal. He's got to change his clothes, make himself look real nice, and or put on the apron, put on the cooking clothes, wash himself up, whatever it takes. He's got to put that food on the table, and the master, that's the expectation of the slave. The master, because of the duties of the slave, like that's the master doesn't have to say thank you. Like it's his responsibility. He has to do that. It's the relationship that they have. In verse 9 it says, "Does he thank the servant because he did what was commanded?" No, he doesn't owe him any thank you. He's only doing what is commanded. And so in verse 10, "So you also, when you have done all that you were commanded, say, 'We are unworthy servants. We have only done what is our duty.'" So we are to have the disposition of a slave to God, right? Like God doesn't owe us anything. Like we don't achieve our salvation. We don't say, "Oh, I've done X, Y, and Z, therefore God must do this." That's not how it works. We serve God because he's our master. And at the end of the day, he really doesn't owe us anything. Now, praise Jesus, he's blessed us and that we are in a relationship with him because of what he has done for us. But it's not because he owes us anything. And so I think as an achiever myself, I can fall into this like, hey, I'm going to work and do. But at the end of the day, that's, you know what? Like, that's what I should be doing because God is worth it. He is worthy. He is the master of masters, right? He is the Lord of lords. And I really don't deserve anything except for punishment, except for hell. That's what I deserve. But by his grace, that's not where I'm headed. Praise be to Jesus. But he doesn't owe me anything. And so I serve him because he's worthy of being served. At the end of the day, it's truly just my duty to serve him. All right. God bless you guys. I hope you have a wonderful D group. Bye-bye.